Testing, testing. One. Okay, there we go. Hello there, everyone. How you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're reacting to the new death battle video, Simon the Digger versus Kyle Rayner, which is Gurren Lagann, which I actually haven't watched today, so we're going to learn a lot about it, versus the White Lantern. It is going to be fantastic, and if you enjoy these reaction videos, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe share with a friend so the algorithm doesn't kick my butt to the curb. Now let's get started. Fight! Now let's open my good old Dr. Pepper for enjoyment. Gotta love that Dr. Pepper.
Born of Earth with the willpower to pierce the heavens and conquer.
Pierce the heavens. How about you pierce your mama? Actually, no, don't do that. Don't pierce your mama. Pierce your girlfriend instead.
A death battle. Deep underground, Jiha village lived in dreary isolation, oblivious to the wider world above their squalid cave.
That's kind of a
where the
sucky
hero
existence.
Of our story comes in. The young man who would lead his comrades into the sunlight at last. Kamina, the great and mighty.
Oh, that guy's cool. Is he the main character?
Simon, he was there too, I guess.
Simon was a digger, content to drill endlessly through the dirt, until the day he found the core drill.
Ooh, very nice.
Mysterious buried mech that Kamina named Lagann. Under his magnificently masculine leadership, Kamina finally drilled their way to freedom, seeing the sun after a
awesome.
life in the dark.
But the sky was by no means the limit. The surface was ruled by the cruel chimeric beastmen, and Kamina would lead his compatriots against them to reclaim the Earth for humanity, scoring a second mech in the process, aptly named Gurren.
And as befits Kamina and Simon's unbreakable brotherly bond, Gurren and Lagann merged, creating Gurren Lagann.
Ooh, Gurren Lagann. That's what the anime's named after, that's for sure.
All the giant fighting robots in all the animes across history.
I've never watched the Gundam anime, if I'm gonna be honest. I probably should one of these days.
Pilot's willpower and capable of making any weapon they can imagine,
including missiles, a jetpack, a sunglasses boomerang, and of course,
drills! Wrist-mounted drills, kunai drills, shield drills,
that's a lot of drills.
And everyone's favorite, the Giga Drill Bureku! Side note, it is so funny that the only thing they could think of was drills. That's like if I made booze or something, my whole personality.
With
but booze is your personality,
boomstick. Forces liberated human villages and fomented a rebellion against the Beastmen King, Lord Genome.
Until Kamina died.
Oh,
wait, shit, was that supposed to happen?
Nope, and it was all Simon's fault. He let his
that
willpower wait, and his
sucks.
soul brother paid the price. After all, he was just a humble digger, at home in the darkness, guided solely by the light of Kamina's spirit.
So his big bro left him with these final words. Have faith in the Simon who believes in you. Damn.
Kamina was the one looking up to him the whole time. It was Simon who found Lagann, Simon who pierced the surface, and Simon who would now lead humanity to victory.
So he's gonna believe in the him that believes in you. That's where that phrase came from.
Pull him out of his rut and kick Lord Genome's ass. But victory only lasted 7 years before the anti-spiral.
Who's the anti-spiral? Well, we're gonna find out, I guess.
The anti-spiral feared humanity's potential, what they dubbed the spiral nemesis.
Remember how Gurren Lagann runs on fighting spirit? Turns out that's just a manifestation of spiral power, an energy that all spiral beings, like humans, have. That's right, the laws of physics run on chutzpah.
Just as the spiral turned inward represents endless obsession and madness, the spiral turned outward spins forever into infinity, the perfect representation of humanity's evolutionary potential.
That's cool.
Simon would use as he led Team Dai Gurren across the multiverse to take the fight to the anti-spiral. And
why is his eyes a spiral? Is it because he's an anti-spiral, or that's just the design reason?
Lets you constantly adapt to threats, no matter how overwhelming. Simon can create portals to different realities and higher dimensions. He can generate force fields, absorb energy attacks, and even merge Gurren Lagann with bigger and stronger machines.
Creating the Arc Gurren Lagann, which is strong enough to shatter space and time with a punch.
Or the Super Galaxy Gurren Lagann, which can
that's a big boy.
Fast enough to hit, and I quote, all time, space, and dimensions.
That's pretty powerful.
Instant.
That's the smallest unit of time physically possible.
Meaning each laser would have to be moving 4.6 times 10 to the 117th power.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, well, looks like this wins the award for fastest calculated speed feat in our show's history. Congratulations.
Wow! Oh my god.
Dethroned. Oh, and the guidebook says they hit an innumerable number of enemies across infinite universes. You literally cannot calculate how fast that is.
But it wasn't enough to escape the Anti-Spiral's greatest trap, the Multiverse Labyrinth. An attack that imprisons Simon in his own unique multiverse, forced to experience an infinite number of alternate realities that controlled his mind, permanently arresting him in a dream world.
Except Simon and his spiral power are just built different. And after
that's
being
good.
inspired by
Glad to
his
see he
bro,
got out of
Simon
that.
absorbed that whole multiverse to escape.
What makes this even more impressive is that this labyrinth was 11-dimensional, meaning
What is it?
Simon absorbed a higher dimensional structure several orders of infinity greater than himself. The jump between dimensions is basically infinite. Each new dimension adds a new direction of space that extends infinitely. Thus, an infinite gap in size and scope.
What?
That's
We're just getting
incredible.
started. Imagine a 2-dimensional drawing interacting with a 3-dimensional person.
Okay, that's not too far off from what actually happened.
Because when Simon absorbed the multiverse labyrinth, he merged with every alternate universe version of himself, including an alternate universe Simon, who is writing his own alternate universe version of Gurren Lagann. And that author's spiral power made his fictional Simon real, adding another to the mix.
Wait, if every
boy.
human being has spiral power, you're telling me
That's some intense power. How is this guy gonna lose?
Spiral power to form the next step
How?
in mecha evolution.
You know Death Battle likes to make DC win. So how are they gonna make DC win this one?
Actually fucking crazy. Like shooting missiles that
I don't see how they're gonna
so
make
they have
DC win this
100%
one.
chance of
I just
hitting
don't
you,
see it.
Or tossing galaxies around like frisbees. Sorry, did I say galaxies? I meant universes.
Simon's
Woo!
power was so immense that he started generating super spiral space, a higher dimension encompassing our own universe.
With it, Simon turns his thoughts into reality, letting him create his mech and all of its weapons in the first place.
Not only does this mean he no longer needs co-pilots, he can also regenerate any damage done to him or his mech just by willing it back into existence.
That's pretty
Like
powerful.
when Organome used spiral power to survive quantum breakdown, or the time Nia, now the best wife in the universe, used spiral power to constantly regenerate her body from being erased at the informational level for 7 days straight.
That's
In
that's
physics
some
is
intense
essentially
willpower
ones and
there.
zeros that make up every possible outcome in reality. Nia literally regenerated from the statistical certainty of her own destruction.
If I have spiral
That's
power,
cool.
Wiz, when the fuck is my leg growing back?
When even this was not enough for the anti-spiral, Simon evolved one more time.
Into Super Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann!
Oh my god.
Size is literally incalculable, and with a drill somehow even larger than that, Simon and his friends shattered the anti-spiral once and for all.
Hey, cruel indifference of the universe! Meet the indomitable human spirit!
Yeah, that's basically what this is.
That Simon's
Cruel
drill is
indifference.
the drill
Meet
that
my
pierced the
sheer indomitable spirit. I'm gonna punch you in the face like.
Conquer. Simon
Oh,
chose
ow,
to
ow,
wander
ow,
the
ow,
earth
my hands,
for the
ow,
rest of
ow,
his
ow,
days
ow!
In service to others.
Why did I slap my own
For
hands?
all the lights in the sky.
Why did I punch my own hands? It makes no difference. You can't even see me punch my own hands, chat.
All thanks to a humble digger.
This is the Chipotle.
I forgot to tell you, I don't have premium, so we're gonna have to deal with the ads a little bit.
2 tortillas. If you know, you know.
Lettuce, cheese, guac.
Yes.
Oh, that is good.
If you
Just
feel
skip ahead
held
30
back
or so
by
seconds from here.
we can give
or
you
something.
the tools to help you break free. Credit Karma gives you personalized guidance to improve your credit, savings, taxes, and more, so you can find your way to money. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
Airwick's vibrant fragrances are infused with 2 times more essential oils. The advanced plug-in with a boost button and anti-fade technology can keep your home always inviting for up to 60 days. Airwick, always fragrant, always inviting.
We have apprehended a dangerous experiment.
He escaped.
There we go,
The
skipped it.
universe is a dangerous place.
Can't believe it
Find
takes a
yourself
whole
face
minute to
face with
skip an ad.
interdimensional vampire, alien dictators, or this one really pissed off.
Oh, I like that
You know
cat!
who
Death
to
Star!
The Green Lantern Corps. They're the Space Fuzz, an intergalactic police force founded billions
But
of
aren't
years
all
ago
cops
by
bad
blue
cops?
leprechaun gods.
And the greatest Green Lantern among them was everyone's favorite, Hal Jordan.
You know him. You love him.
He's not the subject of today's video.
Hate him. But you gotta respect the man with a will as unbreakable as Hal's.
Until the day his will broke.
Oh?
After his hometown got completely obliterated, Hal lost his mind. He rampaged through the core, killing everyone in his path, and absorbed the central power battery, the literal Green Lantern.
Becoming the Emerald Tyrant, Parallax.
There was
I
only
see,
one
Parallax.
survivor of Parallax's killing spree.
But who defeated
And
Parallax?
And with what remained of his strength, he gave the last Green Lantern ring in the universe to a human, Kyle Rayner.
So, was Kyle picked for his indomitable willpower like Hal was?
He
No.
was there. He had no idea what was going on. Must feel good being given the most dangerous magical weapon in existence to figure out on your own. Hey, if Colonel Sanders, Daffy Duck, Space Wheat, and a sentient fox can master it, what's your excuse, Kyle?
They even gave it to a goddamn planet at one point, so I mean, gotta be fair about that one.
From a lamp.
It lets you fire energy blasts, create force fields, affect gravity, turn invisible and intangible, manipulate matter, time travel, warp reality, and erase things from existence.
Think we're exaggerating? Well, consider the time Kyle stretched the very fabric of space to increase the Planck length a billion times over. That's like stretching an inch into a light year.
Oh
Lanterns control
dear
time
God.
and space, letting them fly so fast they can create a speed force singularity.
Tapping into the Speed Force requires entering a higher dimension of space, requiring speeds that are not only faster than light, but totally immeasurable. And the rings have an artificial intelligence that operates just as fast, automatically protecting its user from danger.
Like the time that Poozer Kilowog survived being erased from existence by the crisis on Infinite Earth.
Wow.
The ring is fueled by its user's willpower and limited only by their imagination.
While Hal may have had the greatest willpower in the Corps, Kyle's imagination is unmatched. Probably because he's a comic book artist. We know from this show.
I mean, that is fair.
Think of some wild shit.
But the Green Lantern's most recognizable ability is their constructs, Kyle's speciality.
Samurai armor, pirate ships, giant dragons, actual working home computers, and his favorite, super fighting robots.
He has a goddamn robot too. That's
Make him
cool.
Strong enough to lift the Spectre, who weighs as much as eternity.
Or
Sorry?
a 12.3 dimensional Big Bang. Wait, 0.3? DC's multiverse has 12.3 dimensions? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The ring's only downside is that it's limited to 24 hours before needing a recharge.
So it can
That's fair.
blow up universes, but it has the battery of an iPhone.
Yeah,
Never
that sounds
mind,
about right.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Although I'd say Kyle's biggest weakness was Kyle. With great power came no responsibility.
Perhaps a manifestation of Kyle's self-doubt. Any reflection came too late, though, when one of Kyle's villains brutally murdered his girlfriend, Alex.
Harder,
and
Daddy.
put her body
I
in
mean,
a
what?
fridge.
Kyle wasn't the only one traumatized. This moment was so infamous, it started the trope called fridging.
For how female characters are often sacrificed as mere plot devices to further a male character's development.
So it might surprise you that it happened to Kyle again.
Oh
Kyle
god damn
finally
it.
got serious. He became a prominent member of the Justice League, faced off against Hal, and even rebuilt the Green Lantern Corps better than ever.
But little did he know, this torchbearer's greatest journey had only just begun.
In order to save Ganthet from an emotional lobotomy, it's a long story, he had to master all the colors of the emotional electromagnetic spectrum.
Oh
There
wow.
are 7 colors, each representing a different emotion. The yellow light of fear lets Kyle manipulate the worst horrors in your mind. The more scared you are of him, the stronger he becomes.
Orange light is fueled by bottomless avarice, possessing Kyle to absorb not merely his enemies' attacks, but also their souls.
Red is rage, ripping out Kyle's heart and replacing it
Oh.
with napalm, which Sounds like it sucks, but it's metal as hell.
Blue light is powered by hope and allows Kyle to heal wounds, resist mental domination, and supercharge his ring.
Indigo is compassion, reducing his opponent's will to fight and letting him open portals across space, connecting him
What does
to others.
compassion have to do
Final
with
one
creating
was the
portals in
sapphire
space,
light of
though?
love. With it, he can trap enemies within crystal matrices and control their minds. But Kyle only mastered it by forgiving himself for Alex's tragic death.
Oh, self-love. I get it. Must be nice. And with their powers come
Like anyone here
doesn't
could
just
love
make his
themselves.
enemies taste the rainbow.
The lights of the spectrum merged, and Kyle became a White Lantern with total control over the power of life.
Wiz, I cannot think of an attack more useless in a death battle than something that makes you live.
Empowered by the physical embodiment of all life in the DC multiverse, Kyle is vastly more powerful than any other Lantern in existence.
Wow.
Far stronger than Hal, who could harness the energy of every power battery across the multiverse.
Not only can Kyle instantly heal all wounds, purify corruption, and resurrect the dead, the white light of life is strong enough to go up against threats to all of creation, like the Anti-Monitor.
Okay, so it's not totally useless.
Especially after Kyle visited the Source and acquired the life equation, essentially the source code to reality.
I thought that was the
life
anti-life
is
equation.
mathematical proof that life is worth living.
With it, Kyle can alter all of reality at a whim, even threatening the new gods like Darkseid.
The life equation, like its counterpart, the anti-life equation,
Oh, there it is.
a conceptual artifact from a higher reality, originating in a platonic realm that is, in a sense, more real than we are.
So it's not a shock that the equation made Kyle too powerful.
He struggled to control it, and it subconsciously manifested a being composed of his fears and anxieties. Oblivion. Kyle's greatest weakness was still himself.
Kyle spent his whole life struggling with the power that the gods granted him, and throughout it all, he always rose to the occasion, carrying the universe on his back.
But ultimately, the only way to stop power from corrupting is to spread it. So Kyle split the life equation into pieces to found his second core. the
Oh,
White
he
Lantern.
made White Lantern
And
core?
together,
That's cool.
They shattered Oblivion, destroying the self-doubt that plagued Kyle once and for all.
Not bad for a comic book geek from LA.
And now he was the one giving out rings of unlimited power to people who weren't sure if they could command it.
So he told them the truth. You can't teach someone how to use such power. You have to learn yourself, making mistakes along the way.
But with the power of life at their command, there's no end to their journey, only endless beginnings.
Now it's time for the people to punch each other.
Hey, remember Beerus versus Sailor Galaxia?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, that's because it was taken off YouTube for being too anime. But
What?
we've got a solution. It's our own website. That's www.deathbattle.gg.
How do you get removed from YouTube
It's
for
like
being
our own
too
private
anime?
Patreon, with a
That's
store
what I
of Death
want to
Battle
know.
merch and a complete Death Battle video archive. It's got episodes that YouTube has banned, blocked, and censored, and there's even more goodies on the way. So check out deathbattle.gg live right now. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
All right, time to watch them punch each other, or stab each other, or maim each other. You know how that goes. Oh, we got another ad. Excuse that.
Pancakey Jimmy Dean griddle cakes.
Those aren't bad. Those Jimmy Dean griddle cakes, I actually am going to have one later, but those are actually really good. I actually really enjoy those. It's the little things in life, you know?
What you know, not who you know.
God, if only I've been sponsored for that. If only Jimmy Dean sponsored me. As if.
I knew there had to be a better way.
As
I used my
if.
background in engineering to develop a system that automates the litter box process using gravity and rotation. The result was Litter Robot, a fully automated.
All right,
self-contained
20
litter
seconds
box.
left for till I can
25
skip
years
the
later,
ad.
We solved the litter box problem for over 1 million pet parents around the world. You'll never scoop again, and your cat will always have a clean bed of litter. Join the Whisker family and try a Litter Robot today.
Oh, excuse me. Alright, skipped. Let's get to the punching. Oh yes, gotta love those glasses.
I'm not rusty at all.
Gotta love those glasses. Oh, caught the glasses.
Hey, dude.
Well, that's kind of
Green Lantern
rude.
Officer Kyle Rayner here. Ring says you've got a Class A galactic super weapon, whatever that is. I'm thinking it's the giant mech. Why don't you hand it over?
Nah.
Fine, officer. Just who the hell do you think you are?
He summoned Balrog. I like that. I like that. He sucked it up. That's cool. And the dragon. This is really cool. All right. Wow.
Tell me about it.
Oh, golfing. I like that. I like the little game references in this. The golfing game, I see that. I see it. I see a game.
That's nothing. My drill will pierce the heavens.
Oh. Oh, he's becoming even more badass now. That's nice. Well, shit. Oh, he embodied himself as Superman. That's really hype, actually.
Lantern. We do the impossible. See the invisible. Touch the untouchable.
Break the unbreakable.
If you ain't know,
Now you know.
I think it's really cool he embodied himself as Superman with that one. Oh, they went to the source wall. And then he's going to get that other power from the source wall, probably. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then Oblivion's gonna show up or something.
stop fighting. Think about your fear of death, your love of your friends, your compassion for me, your hope for the future. Choose life.
Have faith in the Simon that believes in you.
And then he goes even further beyond.
Super Tekken Topagur Lagon! My drill is the drill that will transcend the heavens! Giga Drill Free!
Oh, that's awesome. I like that. Whoever animated this did a fantastic job. I was kind of iffy at first, but I liked that. Oh, it's drill versus drill. That's cool. But is it just going to turn into an anti-spiral fight again? That's what I want to know. Yeah, they're just gonna have to punch each other out now.
Weapon wasn't your mech. It was me. Then, Simone, I'm taking you in brightest day, in blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might.
No! Is the Green Lantern gonna somehow win?
Green Lantern
Oh! Simon's winning? Oh! This is awesome. This was badass. Definitely badass.
Lantern.
Simon of Earth, you have been chosen.
Simon got a lantern ring. Oh my god.
For the guy with the snazzy sunglasses! When both combatants possess unlimited power, it's hard to judge them by our normal standards. Take speed. Simone can hit an infinite number of targets all at once, and Kyle can fly fast enough to surpass the normal concept of speed itself.
When you control space and time, things like strength and speed kind of become irrelevant.
Instead, let's analyze them through a lens more applicable to beings as absurd as Simone and
Okay.
Kyle. Their imagination, their willpower, and their ultimate potential.
First up, imagination. The boundless things they could conjure to use against the other. Both could think up just about anything the other could, like absorbing each other's attacks, fighting across time, anything.
Simone did have a few attacks that Kyle hasn't encountered, like the probability-altering missiles, but it's likely Kyle could adapt considering his ring could protect against existence being erased across the multiverse.
And in general, Kyle's constructs were a lot more creative than Simone's
Definitely.
arsenal.
I do
which
agree
was
with that
mostly
one.
Drills. Though again, nothing Simone couldn't adapt to with, say, his energy absorption. Imagination is a draw.
That leaves the other main factor for both characters, the origin of their unbelievable might, their willpower.
And that's really gonna be the winning factor here, since it's the source of everything for both of them. Whoever's got the stronger willpower wins.
Both can manipulate reality on a multiversal scale with their willpower, but we can use dimensions to roughly calculate a difference. This might sound absurd for most characters, but it's necessary for beings as beyond the pale as Simone and Kyle.
The multiverse labyrinth that Simone absorbed contained 11 spatial dimensions.
Yeah, that does scale pretty
1.3
high.
dimensions less than the
11
multiverse
dimensions.
Kyle's
That's
power can threaten. And remember, each numbered dimension infinitely surpasses the
Yeah,
one
that makes
below.
sense.
Which meant Kyle's willpower was stronger at a base level. However, that doesn't necessarily mean Kyle gets the
Really?
edge, because if there's one thing both of these guys are known for, it's that they can always get stronger.
So to determine the limits of their willpower, we first need to understand their full potential.
Simone's whole deal with spiral power is how he can constantly evolve to get stronger. So just because Simone starts off weaker doesn't mean he'll stay that way.
Absorbing the multiverse labyrinth required Simone to leapfrog several orders of infinity in an instant. Simone made himself that much stronger through sheer force of will.
More than enough to close the gap with Kyle, especially since spiral power also lets him regenerate his body down to an informational level. Kyle's never destroyed something that thoroughly before.
Without the ability to easily kill Simone, it was only a matter of time before Kyle's ring ran low on charge, especially since Simone could likely regenerate for at least a week straight.
Makes sense, makes sense.
Blue Lantern Light could boost Kyle's power. He's never jumped several orders of infinity in strength like Simone has.
And while Kyle could manipulate emotions to reduce Simone's willpower, Simone resisting the labyrinth's mental manipulation meant he could power through anything Kyle threw
Makes
at him.
sense, makes sense.
Except for the life equation. It originated from a higher level of reality and would have more than even the odds.
Too bad Kyle couldn't control
Yeah,
it. It was
he
just
had to
as much
split
a
it up to
detriment
control
to
it
him
properly.
as an
That
asset,
is right.
forcing him to relinquish it to keep from destroying reality and himself.
Compare that to Simone, who merged with a version of himself writing a version of Gurren Lagann, and using spiral power to make that fiction into reality.
A pretty similar level of reality to the life equation, and a level of power Simone had no trouble embracing and mastering by the end of his story. No matter how you look at it, Simone might start weaker, but his peak will always transcend Kyle's.
Makes sense.
Isn't that how all of Simone's battles usually go anyway? That's Gurren Lagann in a nutshell.
So Simone's incredible potential eclipsed Kyle, which means his willpower was ultimately greater. Kyle may have embodied life itself, but Simone's unstoppable evolutionary potential would shatter even this lantern's light.
I hope Kyle at least dug the fight, because when it comes to death battle losers, he was a dead ringer.
The winner is Simone.
I'm glad he won.
Next time.
Now what's
on
next
Death
one?
Battle.
Roadrunner versus the mouse. I see. Well, thank you all for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed today's video, consider checking out some of my other content. I'm currently doing a playthrough of Expedition 33 if you want to check that out, or watch me live at twitch.tv/Count Julius to interact with my little chatbot buddy that I sadly did not use in today's video because I just saw this release and I wanted to get it done in a timely manner. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.